short video clip here. I want to tell you why you need a podcast and the benefits of having a podcast. So jumping right into it, here is you need a podcast because everyone is having a podcast. I'm talking about business owners, entrepreneurs. You guys, podcasting is becoming the new blogging. Blogging is becoming less and less. I think there's less people reading. There's more people watching videos, more people listening to audio. And I don't mean radio. I'm talking about like millions and millions of people are watching podcasts. What's up, John? Are listening to podcasts. And as a business owner, you got to get on board now. Like if you wait any longer, unfortunately, if you don't have a podcast now, you're definitely behind, but it's not a question of if you're going to be behind or not. The question is how far you're going to be behind as a business owner if you don't have a podcast. Everyone is popping up with podcasts. It's kind of crazy. And there's positives and negatives, like the whole podcasting world. Anyone can make one at any time. So the problem with that is the content is watered down quite a bit. So we're going to have less and less quality podcasts out there. Which could be okay. I don't feel like there should be regulations. But what I'm saying is that you need to have one because everyone's going to be... It's like having... If you have a website, for example, you should have a blog. Most people don't have a website that just has products on it. And if you do, that's just like an e-commerce site. But in most cases, you have a website, then you have a blog. So you write on your blog, and then you share that blog in different areas on social media, for example, which draws people back to your website. And so I would say blogging is becoming less and less, and podcasting is becoming more and more. And farmers markets are popping up with podcasts. Local gyms have podcasts. It's not just podcasters anymore, or it's not public figures. And what's interesting is a lot of public figures have podcasts, are moving toward podcasts, are knowing that that's the future. So that's my words today. There's tons of benefits that I've found from having a podcast. And trust me, when I started 8 years ago at the time of this recording, I was a horrible speaker. I sat in the radio recording room and I recorded for 8 hours and we got 15 minutes of content. It was horrible. But it opened up my world. It opened up so many doors. The radio brought me to podcasting, actually. But then podcasting gave me all kinds of different ways to meet people. It helped me become a better speaker. It kind of broke me out of my introvert shell. So the connections that you make through podcasting, meeting more business owners, meeting more entrepreneurs. The benefits that I've found through radio, through podcasting are endless. And my message today for entrepreneurs is that if you don't get on board now, you're going to be too far behind to catch up. And it's going to change. The world always changes. It's always evolving. And say, for example, I got into blogging late. So you could look at newsletters. I still believe in newsletters. But that's kind of the thing in the past. Like the heyday of newsletters is over. A lot of people aren't creating them because there's so much noise. There's so much spam coming into your mailbox in the morning. So I still believe in newsletters, don't get me wrong, but the heyday of newsletters is over. I also feel the heyday of Facebook is over. Most people are moving to other platforms. We have Instagram has now become what Twitter used to be, and Instagram is taking over Facebook. Then we have TikTok that's coming up in a hurry. That's for the younger audience, younger crowds, but more and more people are getting over to TikTok. It's always evolving, it's always moving. And if we're always behind, we're never going to be ahead. We're never going to catch up. So when I got into the blog world, I was blogging, but I didn't really know how to blog. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have a whole lot of readers. So, but now that blogging world is kind of ending. And don't get me wrong, you should still blog. You should still write. There's tons of benefits. But what I'm saying is the peak at the very top. And I think we're coming to that in podcasting. And I almost feel like, the issue here is when mass market comes and when everyone shows up and everyone starts blogging or Facebooking or podcasting, it gets so watered down with people and content and noise that it loses the traction. So it's kind of funny, everyone rushes to the top and then because everyone's at the top, it causes it to crumble. So what I'm saying is you have to get in now. There's so many new businesses starting their podcasts because they know the benefits, and because so many more people are starting to listen to podcasts. They're making it more easier to find podcasts. You can get it on Spotify now. You can get it on, like, Apple is making all kinds of changes to boost podcasts and push them up higher. So what I'm saying here is that you got to find a way. They're super easy now. You can create them. They're just about free, other than, I love these giant trucks. They're basically free, other than your time and like a few dollars in hosting. Like it's almost super cheap. So, and then the equipment is super cheap as well. So, and it's becoming cheaper because so many people are jumping on board with this stuff. But you can monetize. You can find sponsors, which most podcasts aren't going to find. So don't get me wrong. There should be other benefits for you to be podcasting and making connections, but becoming a better speaker, putting yourself out there. And I should also mention, you should have a plan. Maybe this is for another video, but you should have a plan on how you're going to make yours last, and other benefits. A lot of times people have all kinds of benefits, or they think that they're going to get all kinds of fans and followers, they're going to make a bunch of money, and then after 4 or 5 shows they're done. They're like, this is too hard. I can't do this consistently. So of course, persistent weighs out in most cases. At any rate, that's what I got for you this morning. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. If you just do a bit of research, check out all the new businesses that are popping up. And I got to tell you, if you don't want to be behind, jump on board early on this one. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck behind. More details or more of my information, I wrote a book called Random Thoughts for Entrepreneurs and Business Owners. If you're interested in that book, hit me up. I'll ship that out to you. And then I do a little bit of one-on-one coaching for small businesses and entrepreneurs. If you're interested in that, let me know. See you guys.